Aretha Franklin, the powerhouse of music, whose voice moved mountains and souls. On stage, she was the life of the party, but behind closed doors, she secretly struggled with drama. Have you ever wondered what is really going on in a singer's life? Today, we delve into the world of Aretha Franklin as her son discovers a shocking truth that will make you question everything you thought you knew about Aretha. Holding tight to her title as the Queen of Soul for 5 decades, she blazed a trail that included selling 75 million albums, winning 18 Grammy Awards, and becoming the first woman to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the youngest artist to receive a Kennedy honor in 1994. But in reality, her personal life was a constant stream of chaos and catastrophic events that bestowed a cruel fate upon her. To understand this tragic story of Aretha Franklin's life, let's see how it happened. Memphis, Tennessee, 1942. That's where it all began for Aretha, born into a family filled with music and faith. She was the 4th child of Reverend Clarence LaVaucan, C.L. Franklin and Barbara Seegers Franklin, who had the voice of an angel herself. Life threw some tough punches at young Aretha. Her parents split when she was just a kid, and then when she was only 10, her mom passed away. Aretha faced unimaginable heartbreak at the tender age of 10 when her mother passed away suddenly from a heart attack. In her autobiography, From These Roots, Aretha expressed, "I cannot describe the pain, nor will I try." She recalled sitting in tears for what seemed like an eternity after returning from her mother's burial. Aretha's booking agent, Ruth Bowen, shared insights into Aretha's tough childhood. She was a hurt child. It's tough when your mom leaves unexpectedly, but it's even harder when she passes away suddenly, Bowen revealed. Aretha's father worried she'd never bounce back. She went silent for weeks. It took years, but music helped her break free from her shell. But through it all, they found comfort in their love for music and moved to Detroit, Michigan, where her dad became famous for his powerful preaching. Now Aretha, she was something special. Even as a little one, her voice was like magic, and she could tickle the ivories like nobody's business. At just 14, she laid down some tracks at her dad's church, kicking off her epic journey in the world of music. But her talent wasn't just confined to church pews. She hit the road with her dad's gospel show, rubbing elbows with legends like Mahalia Jackson, Sam Cooke, and Clara Ward. Aretha welcomed her first child, a son named Clarence, just 2 months shy of her 13th birthday. Despite the curiosity surrounding Clarence's father, Aretha kept his identity private. According to Aretha's brother and manager Cecil, the father was simply a guy she knew from school, suggesting that their relationship lacked any significant depth. Aretha herself described the pregnancy as uneventful, and surprisingly, her father's reaction wasn't one of anger. Cecil recalled that their father understood that these things happen, and instead took the opportunity to gather his children and impart valuable lessons about the consequences of sex. After Aretha had her baby, her father, CL, made a surprising decision. He allowed her to drop out of school. But rather than keeping Aretha at home to care for the child, that responsibility fell to Aretha's paternal grandmother. Instead, CL had other plans for his daughter. He recruited her to begin traveling with him and his gospel group on the road. Nick Salvatore, CL's biographer, wrote Aretha's journey in his book, Singing in a Strange Land. He detailed how CL's decision to include his daughter on tour demanded rapid maturity from Aretha. In the emotionally charged and adult context of the tour, Aretha found herself juggling multiple roles: a starstruck kid, a mother navigating her emotions, and an attractive young woman with the confidence of a teenager. According to Ritz, Aretha told him that when she was 12, she went back to then 23-year-old Sam Cooke's motel room with him. When Aretha was 14, she became pregnant again, eventually having a second son that she named Eddie. Like Clarence, Eddie was also given Aretha's last name and raised primarily by Aretha's grandmother. In her memoir, Aretha said her preacher father was fine with this pregnancy too, a point that Aretha's brother Cecil refuted to Ritz. It's enough to say he wasn't at all happy, and he made his unhappiness quite clear. Aretha first encountered Ted White when she was just 12 years old, during a party at her family's home in 1954. A few years later, as a young adult and single mother, she chose to marry him, despite her father's objections, and even made him her manager. Etta James shed some light on this choice to Ritz, noting, "Ted was supposed to be the slickest pimp in Detroit. When I heard that Aretha married him, I wasn't surprised. A lot of the big-time singers we looked up to had pimps for boyfriends and managers. Pimps could ensure we got paid and protected us, but they were also known to be violent." By 1968, Aretha's tumultuous relationship with White was known to the public. Time magazine, in a cover story, described Aretha as a commanding presence on stage, but suggested a troubled life off stage. "I've been hurt bad," Aretha confided, hinting at deeper issues. The article highlighted an incident from the previous year where White had publicly assaulted her at the Regency Hyatt House Hotel in Atlanta. This was not an isolated event. At the time, White, a 37-year-old with a past in real estate and small-time hustling, had become deeply involved in managing Aretha's career. Reflecting on Aretha's situation, Mahalia Jackson commented, "I don't think she's happy. Somebody else is making her sing the blues." Aretha Franklin's journey through the world of music left an indelible mark, marked by her deep roots in gospel and her mastery over pop and R&B. Her career took off in 1967 with the release of "I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You," recorded at the legendary Fame Studios. Despite a tumultuous recording session that ended in a dispute, the single was a massive hit, catapulting Franklin to stardom. The same album also featured "Respect," a powerful cover of Otis Redding's song, which became an anthem for civil rights and women's empowerment, earning Franklin her first 2 Grammy Awards. As the Queen of Soul, Franklin's influence extended beyond music. She performed at significant events such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral and the Democratic National Convention in 1968, embodying the spirit of the civil rights movement. Her success continued into the early 1970s, highlighted by the release of "Amazing Grace" in 1972, which became the best-selling gospel album at the time. Despite a decline in popularity during the disco era, Franklin's cameo in The Blues Brothers' 1980 reinvigorated her career, leading to a fruitful period with Arista Records. The 1980s saw her topping charts with albums like Who's Zoomin'? Who? And singles such as Freeway of Love. Her duet with George Michael, I Knew You Were Waiting for Me, in 1986 further solidified her place in music history. Franklin's accolades are numerous, including 18 Grammy Awards and the distinction of being the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In her later years, she continued to impress with performances at presidential inaugurations and the release of Aretha Franklin Sings the Great Diva Classics in 2014. Her journey through marriage mirrored the highs and lows of her career, marked by moments of triumph and turmoil. In 1969, after enduring a painful marriage marred by domestic abuse, Franklin bravely parted ways with Ted White, taking a stand for her own well-being. Yet, just a few years later, love found her again in the arms of actor Glynn Turman. Their union in 1978 was a testament to hope and new beginnings, celebrated in the sacred halls of her father's church. As she embraced the role of stepmother to Turman's children, Franklin's heart overflowed with love and possibility. But life's path is rarely smooth, and in 1982, Franklin and Turman faced challenges that ultimately led to separation and divorce. Despite the pain of parting ways, Franklin's spirit remained unbroken, fueled by the unwavering support of friends like Willie Wilkerson, whose steadfast presence provided solace and strength in times of need. Their deep connection blossomed over the years, offering Franklin a beacon of companionship and understanding. In 2012, The world watched with bated breath as Franklin and Wilkerson announced their plans to marry, a testament to the enduring power of love and companionship. However, fate had its own plans, and the engagement was called off, underscoring the complexities of Franklin's personal journey. When Aretha Franklin passed away in August 2018 after a long battle with pancreatic cancer, her family initially thought she had left no will. However, over time, 4 different wills surfaced, sparking a complex legal battle among her 4 sons, Clarence, Edward, Ted White Jr., and Kekaf, over her assets, and who should represent her estate. Adding to the turmoil, the IRS claimed that Franklin owed over $7.8 million in back taxes, interest, and penalties from the years 2010 to 2017. Despite these challenges, the estate has actively addressed the tax liabilities, reducing the balance to an estimated $4.75 million by late 2020. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in next video.